goes back to Mr. President.
I agree.
Ms. Reed, Council Reed. Okay.
With all hearts and minds clear, I want to thank you, dear Father, for giving us this opportunity to share and to have you in our midst as we make decisions that affect so many of our residents, of the citizens of Darlington. We ask this in the name of your Son, Jesus Christ. Amen.
Thank you, Ms. Reed. Pledge.
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Approval of minutes from January the 2nd, 2018 council meeting. Get a motion.
I move that we accept the minutes of our last meeting.
Second. Any discussion? Any correction? It's been properly moved and second that we received the, January the 2nd council meeting. All in favor? Devil sign aye. Aye. Nays? Motion carries. Approval of meeting agenda.
I'll make a motion that we accept the meeting, approval of the meeting agenda.
I second.
It's been properly moved and second that we, approve the meeting agenda. All in favor? Devil sign aye.
Aye.
Nays have the same right. Motion carries. Reports of standing committee, DRA, Ms. Lisa Rock.
Thank you, Mayor and Council. The annual Taste of Darlington will be held on Thursday, April 12th at the Track 2 Tough to Tame from 7 to 9 p.m. in the infield garage area. We're accepting grillers, table hosts, and sponsors for this fabulous evening of food and fun. The Taste is being held on the second Thursday in April this year, which will lead into our 2018 season of Bringing Downtown Alive free concerts that will be held the second Thursday of the month, May through August, to make Darlington the place to be on the second Thursday. That's May 10th, June 14th, July 12th, August 9th, and then we'll also have a free concert on Friday, August 31st for Race Week at Liberty Lane and Pearl Street. Johnny Glenn and the Chasers will perform on May 10th to kick off the series, with the Bout Time Band of Darlington performing on June 14th. The concert committee is still in the process of securing other bands and approaching sponsors. Pepsi of Florence and Wilson Senior Care have already committed to assisting us with this project. And anyone interested in helping to organize the concert can call my office or come to the next concert committee meeting at Mamma Mia's at 5:30 p.m. Thursday, February 22nd. Yes, Mamma Mia's 5:30 p.m. Thursday, February 22nd. Carolina Bank, Darlington Raceway, and Fitness World Gyms will present the DDRA's annual golf tournament on Wednesday, April 18th at Darlington Country Club. This Captain's Choice tournament kicks off with a buffet lunch at 11:30 and a 1 p.m. shotgun start. Prizes for the closest pin and longest drive, as well as tickets to the Southern 500 for the winning team. We are accepting teams and hole sponsors at this time. The DDRA continues to hold a monthly members breakfast each month at 8 a.m. Wednesday, February 28th is the next one at Taki's Diner. These meetings allow for businesses to network and learn about what the DDRA programs are, give feedback on future projects, as well as let other businesses know what they're doing in their business. Breakfast is provided for member businesses at no charge. Non-members who would like to attend are welcome for a nominal donation of $5 towards the meal. Do you have any questions?
Any questions? Thank you.
Thank you.
Sarah Holmes is not here tonight, so I guess we'll go on. Number 6, the prices. I don't have the sheet, but I don't want to sign in. Ms. Pearson, is it right?
It's Ms. Pearson and then Mr. Parnell.
Okay, Ms. Pearson.
I got it.
Mayor and Council, I'm coming tonight to speak in support of the Digital Sign Committee, the Landmark Committee, of which I'm chairperson, worked and gave input to the planning committee as they did it. And we are very supportive, and we don't think that as it is written, it will do any harm to any of the historic districts. I wanted y'all to understand that. It's a compromise. A lot of historic districts have very small signage with no lights. So this is a compromise, but we do support it. Thank you.
Thank you. Ms. Pearson. Mr. Parnell, Mr. Francis. Come on up. Talk about the lights. See what you got to have down here. You're talking about lights. Light man.
You know when I show up what I'm here for. But I was asked about the Historical Landmarks Commission to get involved, and then I was invited to join the city planning commission by Lisa, and I said, well, this is a nice place to be, to get the right kind of lighting, and do the right things for the right people. So when the digital sign ordinance came up, I said, it needs to be supported and written to make it work. And if we do it the right way, I think we may be the only city in the state that's even asking or requiring the sign to be dimmed down at sunset, where we want blind drivers or trespassing people's bedrooms and things. So let's pass it and leave the state.
Thank you. Okay, unfinished business. First reading on the order 2018-01, digital sign ordinance. I think there was some changes in it, Ms. Ross.
Yes, Mayor. Based on the comments from council members, number 16 was changed, the very last item, to allow for businesses that operate after 10 p.m. To keep their lights on but dimmed until the business closes, and then turn them off when they close, as opposed to turning them off at a set time. So if they close at midnight, they could keep their their sign on until midnight. It just need to be dimmed a little bit at 10. City of Greenville has a similar ordinance to this. As far as they do 10 to 6, 10 o'clock shut off. So
Last month, that was our only question about it. Some people stay up later with the dimming of the lights. Is everybody all right with that? You all right with that? Let's go ahead and do the first reading.
I make the motion that we approve the first reading ordinance 2018-01. That's the digital sign ordinance with the revisions.
I'll second that.
Any discussion? All in favor of the first reading of order 2018-1 with revisions and digital sign orders, all in favor, let me know, sign aye.
Aye.
Ladies have the same right. Motion carried. Thank you, Sean.
thank you.
New business, Mr. Hart Campbell, Darlington County Election Commission request.
As long as there ain't no more one.
Thank you, Mayor and Council, for allowing me to appear. What I'm coming to council tonight to ask, as you know, we are in the process of building a building to house the voting machines, also a room that would be used in the front part for training, election night reporting, and absentee voting. The mayor can tell you, it gets pretty hectic up there when you've got about 600 and something people come the day before the election to vote. That way we'll have all our stuff on site. We will not have anything from the Zingo building, and plus if we have a crowd for certification or something, we'll have room to handle. The meeting room is about 30 by 40, so it'll be a very large area, and if y'all need to have a meeting room to have a meeting sometime, if it's not around election time, y'all will be more welcome to use it. What we're interested in using, if y'all would give us permission, part of the railroad bed. I understand it looks like to me the railroad bed is about 40 feet wide. What we'd like to do up front, we're gonna have some parking. If we could, that way, if we could have a little extra parking, and plus, at the back, put a road leaving the city parking lot and come around the building where we can load the voting machines the day before the election and unload the election night. Plus, you know, if y'all are able to get the walking trail off and up and running, this also about 11 months out of the year could be a place, our office, for people to park. We don't have lighting, so if they kind of late, walk late or something, they will be able to have parking there. So that would be our request, to use part of the area.
How much you need?
I would think some up front and then some at the back to come around beside our building. It's not a whole lot, because I know we would not use, it wouldn't be to use the whole, you know, say 20 feet or 30 feet or whatever down the side. It's just some up at the front. And I would think, I haven't gotten Mr. Richardson, the Road and Bridges man there, to figure out what we could use, how much parking we could put. But I think it would add a couple or 3 more spaces up front for us, and using the road that way, the road bed coming around the clerks would enter the city park, the city lane, and come around, well, I think I call it the Leo lane there, and come around, and we would load the cars and day before the election.
At the back?
Yes, ma'am. Got a side door, a roll-up door that we could load the cars and stuff there. That's all I have. I'd be willing to entertain any questions you might have.
Yes, I'm willing to have a survey done to show exactly what you want to take.
Yes, sir, we could do that. I mean, we're not gonna take it, we wanna use it. We want you still own it, but, we just wanna have access to it. Cause it belongs to y'all. I mean, we just wanna use, we just wanna share in y'all's good welfare.
I'm glad to know that. Very good. Sounds
We're on
good.
the survey when you get it.
Okay, we just, I guess, need to get with, I get with you then, and then I'll find out, talk with Bobby and those, see who they would use to do something like that, because I'm not, that's not in counting votes, so I don't know anything about it. But I'll get back with you and stuff, but, because it would help us a lot being able to do that. Not, we gonna, day before the election, we'd have to block off most of the parking lots so the clerks could turn around. Election night, no one would park there. We'd just have it all blocked off, so, for the clerks and stuff. So it would greatly help us.
When is the building going to be completed?
Well, they're moving along pretty fast. They've got the roof on it today, and they're gonna start, I understand, inside the mark, framing up when we got to build the rooms. So the completion date was supposed to be March 1st, but you know, they always never get through when they say they're gonna get through. Well, some things the weather held them up on, so hopefully, I'm hoping, as long as we're done by the 1st of April, that would be good, and so that way we can have poll worker training there and do absentee voting and stuff. Thank y'all.
You will.
Thank you.
Mr. Jimmy Hutton. The Darlington County line.
Thank you, Mayor, for inviting me, City Council. I'm here to speak to you about a parcel of property behind the Darlington branch building. And if you'll allow me, I've got a handout here which will help clarify and give you an idea of what I'm talking about. You can actually see the property in question.
Right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I brought 10, I hope that's enough. You need another one?
How about give it to the new press?
In 2015, the library was looking at the property behind the building there in Darlington on Main Street. And property behind the library was in the possession of the St. John's Foundation. We were interested in that piece of property for possible future expansion for the library. So we went about the process of securing that piece of property, how we would go about it. So what we did was we spoke to our county attorney, and we went through the process of going to the tax sale, and this past December. And at the tax sale, the library paid the taxes for the property, so that in 1 year, we will receive, and the county will receive, a title for that piece of property. Now, referring to the map, what you see on that first page enclosed in red is the piece of property that we acquired. It is approximately half an acre. It was virtually landlocked by our property and 2 other properties, and I believe North Street, yes, North Street there. We saw that piece of property as useful to us, so that in the future, if we want to expand the Darlington branch, we can more easily expand out the back of the building as opposed to the sides and front. So that's why we went about the process of purchasing it. Now, I know that the City Council is considering a walking trail. And if you'll look at the second page, that just is I believe it's a 1968 drawing of the property. And you can see that there's some mention of a railroad right-of-way there. Then on the second page, you'll see it mentions a railroad right-of-way before the library was built. And that right-of-way passes right through the building right now. So it was built on the railroad right-of-way that was given to the library in the county by the St. John's Foundation at that time for the building. So that's the case there. And then the other page is where we actually paid for the taxes for the piece of property. Now, in the discussions that you have regarding a walking trail, at this point in time, because we will be taking possession of the property, it would be passing across county property at that point in time. Because we will have clear title to it as the library in the county next year. That's not to say that we're opposed to a walking trail going behind the library, but that we've made sure that we were able to secure that piece of property for the use of the library for future expansion. And now we have virtually taken possession of it. And we'll have a clear title for it next year. So to reiterate, if you want to go ahead with a walking trail, we're not adverse to sitting down and talking about a walking trail and it going through this strip of property and around the library that way. But
Thank you.
either way, it will be a whole year,
Yeah, for
or a year, virtually a year, before we can do anything about it, because only then will there will be clear title to the property.
Thank you for being open to the trail.
Yeah, I mean, if you're talking about a 3 to 4 foot wide gravel or mulch covered trail, I don't see any reason why we couldn't accommodate something like that and have it pass through behind the library to do something for that purpose. But like I said, we saw the need and we took steps to make sure that we secured the property for our purposes at that point in December. Do you have any questions of it?
Anybody have a question? First reading ordinance 2018-2, purchase of property 165-04-01005, 4 acres. And then 165-00-02-01, 13 acres, the corner of Old Florence Highway and Avenue D. We talked about that, last month, and we were supposed to make a decision on it tonight, but it wasn't tonight. And we asked, Mr. Lee, you have any information on that?
Nothing's changed there, Mayor. It's just we already own the property that's adjacent to it at Bowling Manor. There's 5 acres there. This property will bring us back up to Avenue D, all the way back up. It's an L-shaped piece of property. It'll give us 21.1 acres of land right there, which will be enough to build what we need to build as far as softball baseball.
You tell them the price.
Oh, what is it? 161.5. Yeah.
Everybody's understanding that?
I make a motion that we approve the first reading ordinance of 2018-02, purchase of property 165-04-01-0054 acres, 165-0002-010, 13 acres, corner of Old Florence Highway and Avenue D.
I'll second that.
All in, any discussion?
161.5.
Any discussion on that? All in favor of the motion? First reading, 2018, to purchase property 165, 4 acres, and 165-0002-01, 13 acres, the corner of Old Florence Highway, that would be, there's one sign aye. You have to say it right, motion carried.
I'll just stay right
You stay right there. Okay. First reading the orders 2018-03, purchase of Virgil Wells Stadium, 165-11-01-048, ball field and tennis courts, 165-11-01-038 from Darlington County School District for $100,000. We'll talk about that.
This is the property that we had in mind to build 4 ball fields on. But when the property come open at Old Florence Highway and we can get everything at one spot, we didn't want to abandon the property because we're using it now. And it's very well used as it is. But we just need to update the property after we purchase it. It'll help us out with parking for the gymnasium over there. We'll be able to put our football program / soccer program that we plan on having, redo the stadium, redo some bathrooms there, put in a park, playground, tennis courts, really upgrade the land, the piece of property, and give those people, give all the people of Darlington something they can go and have fun at.
Madam Mayor, I'd like to add that, Tonka, I want to really thank you, Lee, for just working with this so well. And it really pleases me that we are able to get the property on the Old Florence Highway and Avenue D, because the kind of thing that we want to do at B.A. Gary, this opens it up so that we can. And where the old ball field was, that's where we're looking to at least have a beautiful kind of park, playground and things of that sort. Update the tennis courts and all of that area to do exactly what the folk there, because as you have already mentioned, there's so many other facilities that's being used, and we just need to upgrade it. The stadium can even be maintained for the football.
Well, we want to move all football to that area. So that's you know, it's going to be more centralized there. You know, it could open up in the future where we're playing football now for something else there. But you know, we want to keep the Virgil Wells Stadium intact and actually go in and upgrade that stadium itself, and maybe even look at doing something in the future with the A.W. Stanley Gym.
Hallelujah. I want to put Ms. Brown on that, on notice that I'm looking for the beautification committee to come and help and make it pretty walking around there.
Yes, sir.
I got a question for you. As far as, this is the same property the school district was gonna give us at one time, and now they wanna sell it to us.
Yes, sir.
And also, I think the school district, when they build their new schools, are gonna give us the Brunson Darlington property. Is that correct, or are they gonna try to sell that to us too?
That has been discussed in the past, and I think Howard has some new information on that, but that has been discussed in the past, but whether, I know what they have said is they will give us the property that we want now on the creek if we maintain the water lines that come with them. And it's just not feasible to.
That water line's leaking gallons and gallons of water every minute.
It would cost us more to fix the water line than it would to buy the property at Virgil Wells.
I'm not talking about,
You talking about the property at Brunson Dargan, they're gonna want us to take those water lines with that too.
Yeah. So.
Well stated.
By that time, it might be something that is a little bit more manageable as far as fixing with the piece of property that we're getting, but as far as just the 100 feet that we were getting on either side of the creek, it wasn't worth it.
no, I was concerned more of the actual school side.
We still are very much in want of that, if we can work it out with them.
With the baseball field and the
Yes.
football field, that would be a much larger piece of property that you could deal with.
Yes, sir.
Versus Virgil Wells.
Absolutely.
The problem I'm concerned with Virgil Wells is all the criminal activity that's been going in that neighborhood for the last year and a half. Is that gonna be conducive for our recreation department?
We're actually doing programming over there right now. We haven't had a problem with our programs over there. They, you know, the people that are acting out outside of our stuff, and they know that when they come into our buildings and stuff, we pretty much police that, and the police department has been great when Danny was here, and now Jimmy. All we've had to do is pick up the phone and call if we've had problems. So we haven't had that type of problem with our programming. Now, we're well aware of the problems in the neighborhood, and
I'd like to add
it
though.
is what it is.
Yeah, it is what it is, but where else is the recreation going on now? You would think that we would want to stop because of that. Okay, then that's what I'm saying. So I think improving, making all these things, this only goes to improve the area as well as that kind of activity. It decreases.
You're missing my point. I'm concerned the public perception.
Yes, sir.
Are we gonna have parents wanting to come down there?
We've had phone calls even when we were looking at doing the ball fields there. Parents concerned about what was going on, and you know, we play basketball there every night. They're playing basketball there right now. And I know that's a little bit different because it's indoors. But we played baseball over there for years with the Little League. And you know, there has been problems, and there's problems everywhere when it comes to, when you got a child playing sports, you know, you attract all kind of people. But we haven't had in the program, within the confines of when we had something going on, we haven't had that type of problem. Now, I'm not gonna tell you that we haven't pulled up in the morning, there'll be a crime scene taped to the fence, because that's happened. And everybody knows that's happened. But, you know, as far as within the programming itself, we've got 150 kids that play Little League Baseball over there, and their parents took them to, you know, to the ball games and the practices and stuff right there at that ball field. I know exactly where you're coming from, because I've had to answer those phone calls and I've had to answer those questions. And I'll tell you exactly what I tell them. I cannot tell you that there's not going to be a problem over there. I can't tell you that. I can't tell you there's not going to be a problem at Old Florence, and I can't tell you that there's not going to be a problem at Blue Street tonight. But I know that if we invest into it, and this is my personal feeling, if we invest into bringing the quality of life up, not just in that area, but all over Darlington, and people take pride in what we're doing, then I think the crime will go down, because they're going to take pride in what we built for them, and they're going to want it to be better. Now there is knuckleheads everywhere, and I deal with them daily, because they want to play basketball daily. They do. But, you know, and we have told them, if you want to play, this is the way you're going to act. And they pretty much act that way. Now, we have to suspend some sometimes for a certain amount of time just to get the heads back right. But, you know, I can't tell you that there won't be a problem. I can just tell you that as of right now, within the confines of our programming, when we're out there, we haven't had that many problems.
I like that. In view of everything that you have just said, has the participation in our recreational program decreased?
No, it hasn't. But that's a double-edged sword, because it has decreased a little bit in here, but it's increased in some other stuff. So, I mean, you know, baseball's decreasing everywhere. Softball's decreasing everywhere.
Season.
But, you know, right now, in 3 to 5 year olds, that's half of our sign-ups. So it's looking good for the future. Now the older kids, they're gonna find something else to do. Telephones are about to rot their brains.
Balls got too fast for me when I was up there.
There you go. You found other things to do, and that's typical. We just need to provide another source for them to come out and do something at.
Gotta give them somewhere to go.
That's what I'm talking about.
Next question. With the improvements that we're gonna do over on the Old Florence Highway, we're gonna build a softball, baseball, whatever complex we're doing over there. We fund that, how are we gonna fund this?
Well, I spoke with Howard today, and I know we'll still use hospitality tax money. And you wanna?
Yeah, let me take that. We have over $1 million in our current hospitality account, $1,011,000 check this afternoon. We got $1.870 million in the bond account. Our bond payment is currently less than half of what we take in for hospitality, and our hospitality income has increased due to more restaurants on the bypass. If we need to look at getting more money with another bond, is something that we can do. We just need to know from y'all what you want, how much you want. And then we'll go out and see what's feasible or not.
Yeah, just so we know, we're using about 40% of our hospitality fund to pay off our bond right now. 45.
Before you went out and mortgaged another bond, as far as doing another million or whatever, I think we could take a look at phasing some things at Virgil Wells and at Old Florence, and maybe not having to go out and spend $1 million just to spend it, but you know, we can get a playground, and we've already priced that out at $150,000. So I mean, we can do that without having to get a bond. And then we're not mortgaged, and we can take that money later on and do something else with it.
You can always add on to it.
Yes, ma'am.
You ready to vote?
You want me to make motions? I move that we approve the first reading ordinance of 2018-03, purchase of Virgil Wells Stadium, 165-11-01-048 ball field and tennis court, 165-11-01-038 from Darlington County School District for $100,000.
I'll second.
Properly moved in second, any discussion on it? All in favor of the first reading of the ordinance, the purchase of Virgil Wells Stadium, ball field and tennis court from the Darlington County School District for $100,000, let no one assign aye.
Aye.
Niggas have the same right.
Nay.
Motion carried. Okay, thank you. E, first reading of ordinance, 2018-04, purchase of the real estate for playground, 164-15-02055, 164-15-02-056, 164-15-02-1060 for $80,000, $80,500, 207 Cicerone Street. Seafood.
Oh,
Discussion on that. Mr. God?
Any questions about that? Kevin actually, well, I'm sorry, Mr. Etheridge, the city attorney, actually wrote did some delving into the whether, because there's been a question of whether we can use hospitality tax money to build something there. And he's talked to a bunch of different people, and there seems to be not a problem with doing that, which opens it up to do at Virgil Wells too. So, you know, we are in dire need of having playgrounds. We have one and a half playground, however you want to say it. We just don't have anything for our kids, or even for the adults for that matter, in our town to go out and enjoy on a day like we had today. This little park right over here today was packed. It was packed.
Yep.
And that's with the limited resources that we have there. We're actually, you know, we're actively helping out the Pine Center. We've put 2 swings up there. And that playground, that little community playground there is used daily, especially during the summertime. They get out there and they wear it out. Anything that we put up is going to be used. And we can do some cool things on that Cicerone Street property, because we can do some things. We can put a playground up there, but we have enough room where we can put a dog park there. And that's something that we haven't, you know, that's something that's not around here. That's something that's not in Hartsville. That's something that's not in Florence. Florence had one and did away with it. That's something where people that have apartments or have, you know, that they can't get out and walk their dogs, they can go do that there. And they can take their kids there and play on the playground. Now, I know the buzzword tonight has been trails. You know, there's grant money out there for trails, and a trail doesn't have to be something that is extravagant. A trail can be something that's going to connect this playground to this playground, to this playground, to this ball field. And before you know it, we have the whole town, the whole city that you can get on a trail and you can walk to anywhere in Darlington. And it opens it up. And, you know, some people are afraid of that because it brings people into your neighborhood, or it brings people by your house. You know, we got sidewalks too. This, you know, the trail system can be treated just like that. Now, I'm not advocating anything other than buying this Cicerone Street property right now, because that's just another piece of property that we can put something on that we're in need of. So that's what I have. I'll answer any questions that you have. And I think there again, Howard talked earlier about being able to do some things, and we can still do some things without leveraging everything that we have. And you know, we just have to be patient in doing things. We're not going to go out and buy 3 pieces of property and throw something up and be going in the next year. That's not going to happen. And people think don't think that way, because it's not going to happen. We just don't have the cash flow. But we can get things started, and we can get things looking better, and we can get ball fields built, and we can upgrade the Virgil Wells property, and we can put a playground with the $1.9 million that we have. Are we gonna be able to get Virgil Wells finished? Are we gonna be able to get Old Florence Road finished and Sistrunk Street? No. No. But it gives us a vision, and it gives us something to work towards. And, you know, it changes, the landscape changes daily. So, in 5 years, we might be finishing up Old Florence Highway, and now we've spent the bond, things are good out on the highway, and we've paid off the bond. Now we're doing another bond to upgrade the gyms. Now we're building onto the gyms, and we're adding floors to the gyms, and we're putting in an exercise room. And Curtis is helping us with his Fitness World equipment and all that stuff. And it just brings the town together, and look, quality of life is a big thing. If you want people in Darlington, you raise quality of life. But you got to give them a reason to want to come here. So, get off the soapbox, and y'all got any questions?
What's your vision for that restaurant building that's on that piece of property?
We have looked at maybe doing some kind of little center there, maybe doing a programming area in there, maybe just doing away with that center and just being bathrooms for that playground or for that part of the trail or town, side of the town or whatever. My vision is more on the outside of that, where we can put maybe some fitness equipment, a playground, and some dog parks. That's what I'd love to see there.
Somebody in the administration was talking about maybe updating that building and renting it out to a restaurant or selling that little piece of the property off. So there's options out there.
I'm just citing something. I'm far, by the way. Councilman Seegers pointed out about the crime scene over there that would affect Virgil Wells. Our last 3 updates from our city manager outlined different crimes, and just the last thing we got was that a gentleman was robbed by gunpoint right there on the East Broadway, which is just in a few vicinities of these things. So crime is everywhere.
That's actually right in the middle of Sistrunk and Old Florence Road.
So I wanted to know, are you aware of that, Councilman, and you to think we shouldn't go forward with it? But anyway,
I am aware of that. I'm talking about repeated instances in one section of town.
Yeah.
Anybody else? Anybody else have any comments before we? Let's get a motion going in.
I'll motion that we approve the purchase of the Sistrunk property 164-15-02-055. Also property 164-15-02-056. Also 164-15-02-060 for $80,000. 207 Sistrunk Street.
I'll second.
Any more discussion?
Madam Mayor, I'm just assuming that with all of these condition of our ordinances, that we be able to get clear title, be simple, marketable, clear title to any of these properties.
Yeah, I would assume.
You didn't check that? Nobody checked that?
I'm sure we would.
That's our
rule.
Wrong with that.
That'll be checked before it's purchased.
So you want to amend the motion?
To all of them is what he's asking. I think that just needs to be.
What he's mentioning is boilerplate language in all the ordinances that we have.
Yeah.
Okay, all in favor to vote? They want to sign aye?
Aye.
Nays have the same right. Motion carries. Thank you.
Thank y'all. Appreciate it.
Item number F, Daimler truck proposed lease purchase. Yes, sir.
I've been asking Mr. Garland to get some pricing on a vac truck, to educate a little bit, is used to suck out stormwater catch basins, and it has a high pressure jetter hose to wipe the pipes out. Also, in sewer, we use one occasionally when we have a sewer break or have to clean out a lift station. So we the city definitely has a need for one. It will require hiring probably 2 pretty highly trained operators with CDL driver license. So that cost would have to be included into the purchase. I think y'all have the 2 quotes that I have, and the only difference between the 2, besides the price, is one's before a price increase. The higher one has a price increase on it. The chassis have a price increase. So if the decision is made, we look out and should be something that looks to get back across the top.
So could you talk a bit about the top machine here? How much will it be able to move debris out of the catch basin? Have any idea?
They used one to clean out Hampton and Maine right in front of where Curtis Boyd bought the old West and all that. Alex Gainey had Anderson Plumbing come in and do theirs. This basin had probably 3 foot of what it turned into concrete in it. All the debris goes in there with oil and it just gets hard as asphalt. And when they removed that and jetted the lines out, before every time the YMCA backwashed their pool filters, it flooded Curtis at the intersection. And since we've been done with the rains and all, we've had no issues with that intersection.
How long do you think those people could work going around the city cleaning out our drains?
Oh, it'd be an eternity. I mean,
You're talking multiple years before they would catch up.
oh yeah, it's time consuming. They spent a day and a half on there? Day and a half cleaning that catch basin and those 2 or 3 lines, and those small lines.
Now we have, his hand was technically up. Go ahead, sir.
Do we currently have a maintenance system where we can go in and effectively clean out our manholes?
No, in fact, my crew had to do lift station repair this week, and Ronnie Sellers, the Sellers septic tank, we had to hire him for 19 hours one day to pump while we worked. And so I've got somewhere between a $3,000 and $4,000 bill for a septic tank truck right now that this truck would have done.
How much money you talking about, Ms. Bailey?
Oh, the lowest quote is $367,000. The second one, if we should miss that truck, and these have probably still got a little wiggle worm. These were fast quotes. The one with the price increase is $391, $348. So that's just the difference. The very same truck, same year truck. As of January 1, they have a price increase. And one was ordered prior to that, and one was ordered after the price increase. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Now that I am becoming more and more aware of what stormwater is about and how it has affected this city and all of this flooding and whatever, please tell me, why haven't we dealt with this before? Why is it right now? I mean, this didn't just happen. I mean, ever since.
We've done piecemeal. We used to have an old truck. We had an old truck when I first started here. It is now junk. It was bought. It was probably 20 years old when it was bought. And what we've done, a little bit's done, been contracted out, and it's costly.
But even when you had it, whenever you had it, it served a purpose. It did what you needed to do. So why would you stop when we see this?
There's never been a stormwater program. When the old truck was used for sewer work, primarily. And that's what it was bought for, was to clean out sewer lift stations, not stormwater.
Okay, so let me get this understanding now. But what you're asking us is the same truck the same thing that.
And it will do both. And we would co-use it. We would use it in the sewer department so we needed it. And then the crew would use it to clean stormwater drains when it wasn't being used anywhere else. And it will vacuum up. I mean, it's just like a big vacuum truck cleaner. It will suck up rocks or anything else.
And so, but the reason it wasn't used before, we didn't have a stormwater plan. We got a stormwater now. So now you would like to use it for both.
It would be, I can use it, I have to hire, like I say, I had to hire sellers to do a job. We can use it with water sewer as well as the street department could use it, or whoever, whatever works, streets or stormwater, wherever it's worked at. It would be owned or bought and paid for by multiple departments.
This is our current method of cleaning out our drains.
Yeah,
It's one of our city workers with a shovel. Now, I'm gonna flip over, and this is the inside of the pipe. It's obvious that a shovel can't get down there, and so you can see how it is. I mean, a shovel just can't traverse those angles. And I'll show the rest of the council, but.
Well, let me ask you a question. You said you had to, get some outside service to come in and do this in the last, you said you just had one, what, a few weeks ago?
Well, it wasn't exactly this truck, we had to get a septic tank service to come in and pump that.
So in the course of a year, how often are we soliciting outside services to do this?
I probably use it 5 to 10 times a year.
5 to 10 times a year. So an average cost of around $3,000?
3 to 5. I had to do a job at a treatment plant 2 years ago that lasted 2 weeks. It cost about $15,000.
That one job?
What's the difference between that, lease price and the purchase price?
We haven't pursued really financing. That's something Mr. Garland we hadn't really pursued. We've talked about like a 10-year purchase or a 10-year lease.
How long will the truck last, you think?
A new one, 15, 20 years.
15, 20 years.
If it's taken care of, if we could get a dedicated crew on it that will take care of it, the truck will run, if it's kept up, 15, 20 years.
Okay, somebody have to be trained to use it.
Yeah, they furnish all the training and all that, and possibly we could find somebody around that has operated one before, but I mean, it's gonna be higher than our average normal paid employees probably. I mean, they gotta have a CDL driver's license to start with.
Well, I know one applicant who got in there like that.
And then get somebody trained on it.
Can you use
I
money out
just-
of the capital fund?
Ma'am.
Excuse me, can you use money out of the capital fund?
Well, capital fund right now, my capital fund is painting the water tank. In fact, they're on the top of it right now.
The only way to do this, in our opinion right now, if you want to do it now, is to finance over a 7 to 10 year period, with the money payment split between different departments.
And pursue whatever the best financing leasing that we could find for 10 years.
This would help the people on West Broad Street that get covered back.
Cleaning any pipe's gonna help that. 15-inch pipe, clean, flows a whole lot more than a 15-inch pipe that's 2/3 full of dirt.
And let me reiterate too, specifically talking about West Broad and East Broad, all of those stormwater easements were done in the 1930s and 1940s. They're in people's backyards. There's oak trees on top of these pipes. So we can clean to a certain point, but sooner or later, if we really approach this, we have to go in with the cooperation of the property owners to get some of these problems solved.
Let's do an easement through their
Yeah, all
yard
that kind of
and
good
get it
stuff.
done.
Yeah, it's not a fix for everything without major work, similar to a ditch type project or a repair project, but some maintenance would definitely help alleviate some of the flooding in Darlington.
I just want to make a comment because Councilman Gardner was pointing that. And I mean, I just had firsthand because of the work that's being done on my street as well as 2 blocks over on Milling, to see them trying to clear out things. And they do use more than a shovel because, and I just want to make that point, I know that that's what he sees, but there's more because they would not be able to do whatever they.
Well, even this truck wouldn't do that. We have to rent a big piece of equipment, the big orange track hoe that you saw out there. I mean,
Yeah.
and that's a $500,000 piece of equipment that we use once or twice a year. We can't justify that when I can lease it or rent it for $2,000 for the job.
Yeah.
And you gotta have a big truck to move it with.
Do you feel the HVAC is something you would justify from a financial standpoint and from the longevity of our systems?
I think it will improve the overall flooding and sewer, or storm drain and some of the sewer work in Darlington. I mean, I know it would help us to clean out lift stations, especially when Frankie and his crew have to go in to work on one, but they have to get it cleaned out some kind of way, and typically it's called on the seller septic tank or somebody, or Anderson Plumbing to come clean it out.
Mr. Collins, do a reading on this to prepare for next month meeting.
What we'd like to do is to look at some financial options and bring something back on March the 6th for you to consider. If that's consensus of council.
That's fine.
Thank you.
And that is a picture of what the truck will look like, and they will put, the city logo will come on, all on the body of the truck.
That's why you wouldn't let me take it out of the office.
Yeah, yeah, that's the only picture I had.
Okay,
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Mr.
Yeah, H8G is no longer needed, so I asked that be struck from the agenda this evening.
H, that has, taken off the agenda, we no longer need it, okay? Update residential housing demolition program. Mr. Alexander.
Smile at me, knock something down.
Y'all should have a handout here. Just gonna give you an update on where we're at with the demolition project. We've broken it down for renovations that are in progress and completed. Right now we have 4, since we started the demolition program. We've had 7 people that have come in and actually applied for permits to fix properties up. 4 of them are in progress, 3 of them have been completed. You can see the addresses there beside it, the 405 2nd Street, 115 Howard, 105 Tedder, and 375 West Broad. Those are in progress. Completed is 105 Pine Haven, 113 C Avenue, and 301 Darlington Avenue. Those have been completed. As far as the demolition, we've had 4 that have been removed by the property owners to date. We've been talking to a couple of others about removing some other ones themselves. 248 Railroad Avenue, 204 2nd Street, 409 East Broad, and 203 Lee Street.
I don't think I have one, Mr. Gaines. Hold on, woman, I don't think I have one.
You don't have one? I'm sorry. I apologize. I thought I had given one yesterday. Let me start over. You
go ahead.
Okay. So we've got the removed by the property owners, the 248 Railroad Avenue, 204 2nd Street, 409 East Broad, and 203 Lee Street. Those have been removed by the property owners. And then in the city, at this point, we've taken 2 down. We took 702 Washington Street, which was, they applied for demolition assistance program, was approved, and so they paid a portion of the demolition.
Is that the Peterson? Was that the Peterson house? Across from the
That's the
highway?
one across from the hotel. Motel, yeah.
That burnt down?
Good.
Back of it burnt, yeah.
I was wondering how they did it. Thank you.
Then we've got 202 Chalmers Street was taken down last week.
Yeah.
And then if you look, 108 Tallulah Street has been contracted with demolition contract to be removed. They've got to be able to access that property. So we're going to see what we got to do there, but give them access so they can tear that property down. We come up with a demolition schedule for the next 8 houses. So if you look at the bottom, it says 107 Jefferson Street on the 19th of February. We plan on taking that one down.
All right.
The 22nd of February, 408 Guest Street's coming down. The 28th of February, 109 Curvin Street. 109, actually, that's one that burnt. We've been in contact with the guy, gentleman, Mr. Kane. He passed away. I've talked to his son a couple of times. Mr. Kane had actually paid somebody to clean that debris up. He paid them for it, and they came and took some of it, didn't take the rest of it, but we've been in contact with the son. He said just go ahead and finish cleaning it up, and he's going to pay the city, instead of him trying to find somebody to finish the project. 300 Medford Place, that one's going to be coming down on the 6th of March. Then 106B Avenue, 106B Avenue is going to be the 21st of February, 121 Farm Street. That piece of property was actually sold, so we gave the new owner 30 days to comply. And the 23rd, I believe, is their 30 days, so that was gonna come, that's a house that burned as well. There've been people that's been squatting in that house, been staying in it. We paid, we had it cleaned up, because it was growed up real bad. We had it cleaned up, and that one's gonna come down on the 27th of February. Then 509 South Darlington Street is going to be the 5th of March. And then 204 South Pine Street is going to be, I believe it's Southern Pine is what that's supposed to be. Southern Pine Street is going to be on the 8th of March. And then once we get closer to the 8th of March, then I'm going to start scheduling some more, try to schedule out 8 or 10 more houses. By the end of March, I'm planning on having 15 or 20 houses down.
Let me ask you a question. I don't see the, was it 512 or 514 South Main Street?
We haven't,
But that one was on there before some of these.
yeah, that one, well, that's a bigger house to take. That was gonna cost the city a little bit more to take down. So, the house, if I'm not mistaken, is in probate or something, and I believe we've been talking to somebody about that house. I can't remember. I would have to get with Sheila on that one, but I know she's been in contact with somebody on that house. And they would have decided that they were, ma'am?
The lady owned it died.
Yeah, and some of the family members or something. We've been talking to them. Matter of fact, they sent us a check. We had it cleaned up, and they sent us a check for cleaning the property up. But they're, I think, in limbo whether they want to tear it down or try to fix it up. So, I mean, it could be a beautiful home if it was fixed up right there on Main Street, but, you know, something's got to be done with it. So, she's been talking to someone about that. But I'll get some more information on it and let you know.
She told me she didn't have to go in and fix it up.
Well, I don't know.
Could you give us an update on Judge Stucks and what it was continued for?
Yeah, I'm fixing to get it out. The commercial properties, when we started the demolition program, we had 504 Lamar Highway, which was the old gas station tobacco store out there at the corner. 52 in Lamar. Of course, that one was taken down by the property owner. We sent them letters, and they went ahead and took that one down. That looks a lot better out there. China Warehouse, we went to court on the 10th of January, and the Honorable Judge Stucks continued the case until the 18th or 28th of March. He wanted both the sister and the brother in here for court in front of him, to appear in front of him. Both of them were here. She was saying that they wanted to have the opportunity to sell the property. At that day on the 10th, she said that they were in contact with Burt Jordan Realtors and was ready to sign a contract to sell the property. Sign a contract with Burt Jordan to list it. Well, here it is, the 15th of February, and I hadn't seen a for sale sign yet. I have had several people call me about the property, as far as purchasing the property and doing several different things with it. But none of that's come to pass either. So he wanted to give them until the 28th of March, basically, to seek legal representation if they wanted to. My personal opinion, I don't think he wants to make a decision. So the 28th of March, we're going to help make a decision.
Saw something on the news maybe 2 or 3 months ago where I think it was maybe an assistant city manager over in Hartsville was talking about the demolition program over there. I can't remember the numbers, but it seemed to be that they were speaking in terms of having received a large grant for doing that type of work. And I don't know whether that was all the grant or whether it was a matching grant that would require funds or not. Do you know anything?
What happens is I want to think it's the Byerly, there's the Byerly Fund or something over there. They foot a lot of the bill for the demolition, but I know they did just receive a grant. I'm not sure how much it was for. It was to tear down 11 houses, and they had until it was sometime in January to get all 11 houses down. They hadn't done it yet. The problem that you run into is whenever you start getting grants for that falls under a greater project. So then you have to do your asbestos sampling, your asbestos abatement and all of that, and that's one thing we were trying to avoid, to save the city money. So that's the reason we went the route we did. But yeah, Hartsville has, I think every year they tear houses down with grant money, but like I said, it pushes them into the greater project criteria, and then they have to do all the extras. And that's why it costs them so much to tear those houses down. I can tell you, we took the house down on Chalmers, and I don't have the final number. We took the house down on Chalmers Street, 202 Chalmers Street. The porch had fallen off the front of it. It was a smaller house. I believe we had a price before of about $2,900 to tear that house down is what it was going to cost us if we subbed it out. And I believe we got I think I figured up about $1,100 in it. So we're saving money.
So we still not checking for asbestos in it because you're doing it?
You're doing it, staying out of the greater project criteria.
Paying for track cut.
So
We're paying for that track cut.
paying for the track cut.
But
And
what if
what
the
we're
houses
doing
have
is,
What if the houses have asbestos in it?
well, we're not doing the sampling, so we don't know if it has asbestos or not. As long as you're not in the greater project, then you don't have to worry about it.
Well, wouldn't that be kind of dangerous? I mean, how if it has asbestos in it and you take it to the landfill or what, and it has it in, I thought you had to take it to a different place.
When you take, if you have property that has asbestos, whenever the asbestos abatement contractor comes in, he's gonna put plastic in the dump truck, and put the asbestos containing material in the dump truck, and you take it to the same landfill that we're taking our construction debris to.
If I remember when you went through that with us, we've got an enclosed thing, the operator's protected, and I think Ms. Bruce had some concerns about that, and you took care of those
Yeah,
concerns.
we've got the enclosed cab, and one thing I told you, make sure when you tear it down, make sure you keep the cab closed when it does. I mean, it's got heat in there, so there's no need to keep the cab open. And then it has HEPA filters in the filtering system so that it can filter out particulates. Any other questions?
Number 9, receive information, department reports, no action taken. Any council comments? I would like to, make mention of the shower ministry, at Trinity, and also, what they have done for the homeless, during the snow, the cold months. I went there one night, they had 10 people, they had 7, I've sat there, they get fed, they go in at 6 and come out at 8 the next morning. When they leave out in the morning, they feed them also. They give them coats to give them a nice hot bath. And I don't see anybody, not one person, is Sarah Garland, she's a part of it. Who else, is anybody else in here part of the shower ministry? We just want to thank them for what they were doing. Angie Stone, Gobble, yes, doing an excellent job. People were really excited. They came in, they sat, and they talked and they ate. The little heart was content and had a nice hot bath. They gave them jackets, blankets. It was just a nice thing. I wish that that was volunteer work. All of that was volunteer. It was hard to get volunteers in at some time. But if we just had a homeless shelter, they would get a grant so we could have it open at all times. And one more thing I want to mention. Go ahead. Okay, go ahead.
County Council is going to have a work session next Monday at 2 o'clock out at the Administrative Annex of the Sheriff's Department to talk about the future of the county courthouse. They're giving strong consideration to splitting the duties of the court up. What they are going to be proposing in that meeting, one of the proposals is keeping the actual court functions downtown and building a new courthouse, but also building a new facility out in the Sheriff's Department where the Treasurer's office would go, the assessor, and different functions of the county government. And so if you want to find out what they're doing, the work session is next Monday at 2 o'clock. And I've been told that County Council wants to have a joint work session with Darlington City Council to discuss these options next month.
Anybody else got any comment?
We just had a new restaurant open on the square, Fahrenheit 225. Went there, had lunch today, it's wonderful food, local guy. So just maybe come support it. I think they're open Tuesday through Friday for lunch and dinner. good food and do business in town, so. it's
Went
good
there
their
last
support.
night, I beat you to it.
Yes, you did. How'd you like it?
It was pretty, but that was good.
Yeah.
It was good.
Did
Anybody
they
else?
close at, for those who did reopen or something like that?
I don't know
I
if they're
went
closed
there.
between.
When I went by, they were closed. This is around 3:30.
Yeah.
Nobody was there.
They closed at 2 o'clock, I think.
Oh, so
Left
they were
them for
open.
lunch and then they open up at 5.
Okay,
And
that's
not
right.
open on Saturday and Sunday, they open up on Saturdays for special occasions. And they're not open on Sunday, Tuesday through Friday. So go there and check it out. Can I get a motion, before we adjourn, Tuesday, March 6th, 6:30 p.m., regular monthly meeting, Darlington City Council. Can I get a motion?
I will move, Madam Mayor, that we adjourn.
I will second.
I'm quite sure there's no discussion. All in favor? Aye. Nays have the same right. Thank you.